Okay. So I'm very excited today. I have one of our instructional leaders and our experts here with us today. Ms. Neff, who's been in education for 25 years and was kind enough to grace us with her expertise and her presence. And so we're very pleased, or I'm very pleased to have you, and I thank you for your time.
Glad to be here.
Thank you. So, are you aware of our campus vision statement?
No.
So have you ever heard anything about it? Have you ever heard it referenced before?
I think I've heard it referenced. I've been here long enough. I've probably heard somebody mention it, but I know nothing. Otherwise, I know nothing. I don't know where to find it.
Not seen it.
No.
Okay.
Not discussed it. No.
That's the second person that we kind of talked to that has the same kind of deal. So we've confirmed it, I guess, to what I've just said. So we know that our campus does have a written vision statement. However, never seen it yourself.
Right.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is then I'm going to share this with you. It has a mission statement as well, but we're going to really focus on the vision statement. And if you want to just take a gander really quickly, hopefully you can see that and read through it. So my next question, I guess, pertains to this in a way. When were you first introduced to our campus vision statement?
Well, to my memory, right now.
Okay.
Now, that's not to say that somebody, 5 years ago didn't say, "Here, look at this."
Right.
But it was never mentioned again, so I don't remember seeing it till now.
Okay. Were you or have you ever been involved in the development or the revision of our campus vision or any campus vision?
I did serve on a site-based committee at a previous school many years ago when that was new. And I was asked to serve on the campus improvement committee, and we met once, and or maybe twice, and it was probably about 3 years ago, and then it went away. Nobody ever said another word.
No follow through. No follow through with that. Okay. So if you were given an opportunity, which you've already answered, to serve, would you be willing to help develop a campus vision statement?
I would, and I have in the past.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, who do you feel like should be involved in reviewing or developing a written campus vision statement?
I think there should be representatives from all areas of the school. You got to have the leadership.
Okay.
Because I guess the principal has to be kind of the leader.
Right.
But you've got to have your various entities, so to speak. We have 4 communities, so I think you want somebody from every community. I think you want something from our career and technology departments. Since we have a big career and technology department, maybe somebody from sports, maybe from each of the core subjects. You need representation. Of course, you need parents.
Yes.
Community members.
I agree with that. I talked about this with Ms. McGill. What do you think about student leadership being involved in the vision?
I think they should.
Yeah.
I think students feel more empowered and are better students, and if they feel like they have a say. I can remember many years ago being on the student council and make appointments with the principal and going to talk to him about issues. And, it was so frustrating because we felt like he had no interest in anything. And,
right.
Now at my age, those issues seem inconsequential.
Right.
But when I was 17, it seemed so important. And to feel like we were really being heard, I think would have made us more, instead of like we were fighting the administration, more like we were working.
So collaborative.
Yes. Yeah.
I totally agree with that. I think that's a good idea. Do you think, and it's kind of in a sense redundant from what you said, but do you believe it's a shared responsibility to formulate a vision, or should it just come from one kind of authoritative voice?
No, I think it should be shared. And as I said, I served on a site-based committee, and for the most part, we sat there and the leadership went through and said, "This is what we've decided. This is what's going to happen." And I thought, so why am I spending 2 hours after school every so
So
often.
kind of collaborative in name, not really in.
Yeah, it was more for show, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if we're going to do this, let's work together.
Okay.
I mean, because the leadership or this department, we all have different aims and goals, but we got to somehow come together and what's best for the school, for the students.
And they build that commonality. I like that. So, having read for the first time about 5 minutes ago the vision statement, what does it mean, do you think? What is it trying to say?
Well, I think what it's trying to say is that we would like to have a stellar reputation, be known not just in Galveston, not just in the Gulf Coast, but throughout the nation as a place of excellence, a school of excellence. And we're trying to do that through having our smaller learning communities and through community partnerships, and then preparing our students for college and career. And honestly, I think some of that we do really well.
Right.
And
where do you think we're faltering on that?
Well, I'm not really aware of how strong well, I'll take that back. We have some good community partnerships, like with UTMB,
right,
with the Chamber of Commerce. So we do have some. And I think our career and technology department seems pretty strong to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, these learning communities, I guess they're a work in progress, and I think some have better leadership than others.
Right.
I do think certain, I don't really know how to say this, but anyway, I think it's a great vision, but I think something's lost in the details, maybe.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It's almost, it's one thing to say things, it's something to do.
Yes, and personally, I think we really fall down in communication here. Communication between different levels, between different departments, and I go do my thing, you go do your thing.
Yeah.
Nobody tells us about this. I think that we fall down a lot in communication.
Which in that case, I mean, and I agree. I think this is a prime example that they're really nobody. And this goes beyond these interviews that I'm doing with teachers. It's everybody I've spoken to. I've just kind of informally polled. Nobody knows what school vision is.
No.
I've never heard of it. They don't even know how to access it.
In the organizations, I've seen this through my husband's work and just through living a long time. But the organizations that really are really successful in meeting their vision or accomplishing their vision are the ones. I mean, everybody has to know what you're working toward. For example, my husband's on the board of Methodist Hospital Houston, and I mean their vision is posted everywhere, not just for the workers, but if I go as a client or a patient, it's I care, and I forget. I couldn't tell you exactly what it is, but every time I read it and I listen to them when they interact with me, and I can hear those words and what they're saying. I know that they have been trained. I know they know what their vision is, and everybody from the person that takes my money to the person who does my mammogram to the person who shows me where the parking lot is. They all know.
So you have not only the vision, but you've got a cultural buy-in, so to speak.
Yes.
A culture is established.
Yes. But you can't have that culture if you don't even know what the vision is.
Yeah.
It has to be, not to browbeat people, but it has to be put in front of them all the time and explain why this is our vision. How do we accomplish this? What are the smaller goals to get us to the bigger goals? I mean, that's just what we teach our kids.
Yeah, you would think it's common sense, but we know that's not always that common.
No.
So where would you think to look to find the vision?
I guess the website.
Yeah,
website.
that was a good response. That's what I had up doing because I didn't know where it was. So I literally just did a Google
Either
search.
that or the campus secretary.
Yes.
I go to her for everything.
That is the truth. Ms. Reckhoff runs it. So this is kind of an interesting question. It says, how does the campus use innovative thinking as a learning experience to promote the vision? So how do we promote the vision with our instruction? Do you see that?
No, I don't. Maybe certain areas do, and I just don't see it because I never leave the library.
Right.
But as a whole, no, I don't.
I
don't see that happening. It should be something that the students can tell you what the vision is. The teachers can tell you. The custodians can tell you. It should be, I mean, if it's gonna be a true vision statement for our campus, everybody that sets foot on this campus should know it and know how we're trying to get there.
Yeah, and then I think even more than knowing it is, kind of exhibiting that culture. So if you ask me personally, uh, from my perspective at least, that one of the things that we lack here is a strong culture.
Right.
There's not a sense of, there's pride, there are brilliant people here, there are hard workers, there's great teachers, but there's not that one thing that
We're
brings
all
it all
pulling in one direction because we don't know.
We don't know.
Part of it's that.
Right.
Yeah, part of it's
right,
that. Yeah.
for sure.
I mean, it's hard. A big ship's hard to steer.
But
we all have to know which way we're going before we can steer it that way.
Exactly. Yeah. We got to pull in that same direction. When you're considering our school and community, do you feel that the vision statement sufficiently addresses the challenges that our campus face? That our campus faces, excuse me.
Yeah. You know, are you perfectly honest?
Yeah, I want absolute candor.
Okay. Well, I think this is a great direction to go. Of course, we want to be a national leader, all this, but Galveston and Baja are so diverse. Of everywhere I've worked, we have the most diverse student population. The community is so diverse, and I maybe feel like that a certain segment of our student population, I'm not sure that they really fit into all this. You know, I see those, I don't want to use the term fall through the cracks. I do think that we have programs that try to address, like our homeless kids, or kids that face legal challenges, or our immigrant kids. You know, this may, to me, almost sounds a little bit lofty.
Right.
That's the right word. Yeah, for some of the kids that just want to know, how am I going to get supper tonight? You know, and I know we do have programs, but I don't know. How do we meet you got to meet their daily existence needs before we can be a national leader in anything. And
that's true. I mean, if you look at it statistically, I think we're probably 67 to 70% economically disadvantaged.
Oh, I'm sure at least.
You know, and you're right. This population is extremely diverse. We're probably, I think, 46% Hispanic, about 24% Caucasian, 24% African American, and then we got
some others.
Yeah, very small kind of small other population, but it does present an issue. It's challenging. It's a challenging. It is. It's a strange dynamic. Galveston's always had it because you do have tremendous wealth. Yes. You don't have a very large middle class, as we would say. It almost skips. But you also have in the community, you've got the port industry, the medical industry, the hospitality, tourism, and then really the coastal kind of resources industry. So it is a difficult dynamic to encapsulate in just one statement.
Right. It is.
But I do like what you said about the idea of providing kind of those fundamental needs, almost as if, safety and security.
Right.
I don't know if that would only go in the vision statement, but a lot of our kids need that.
Right. And like I said, we do have some programs. We have community and schools and various things like that. But I read this and it just feels we're going to send all our kids to Harvard and they're going to be lawyers. And we do have that segment. Right. We truly do. But then a lot of the kids I interact with, a teacher comes in and says, can you help my kids? Half of them are reading on a second grade level. Yeah. And so I don't know if we're missing a little piece here to, even those kids can be career ready. And we are doing some good things, like with our school store and Murin. These are kids that can work. Right. These are, and he's teaching them work skills, so we are getting them career ready.
That's true.
And so
we're doing some of it, but we're not really meeting.
Well, I think I don't know. I've thought about this. I don't know if this is what you really need to know, but I think we have a tendency to throw a program at this, and we don't have a unified approach. Okay. For instance, special ed. Okay, he says, okay, I'm going to try this school store, which is wonderful, and he's doing a great job. But when he moves along, falls apart. I know 2-3 years ago we had Miss Hernandez, And we're going to mentor our kids because
Yeah, she did a great job.
yes, because data shows that they need it and they improve. She works very hard, gets that set up, gets mentors to come in. She goes to another position, it goes away. Some of those mentors have come to me and said, I like doing that. What happened? And said, well, we don't have the program anymore. So it's kind of like we throw something at it and then we go to the next thing and throw something at it. Now, I think that's actually a problem throughout education, but I've really seen it exemplified here.
Which I think goes back to that the kind of the vision as well. Do you feel like I actually you kind of addressed this. I don't think that you would say it's totally inclusive, and it characterizes our students and their families and community, totally. How do you think that we could help implement this vision in the community, get the support back from the community? Do you have any ideas how we could go out and kind of do that?
Well, we as employees need to know what it is. We can't go share it if we don't know. I think it's got to start here.
Okay.
And if we start emphasizing this and training us what this is and how we accomplish each one of these things and communicating what we're doing for college and career readiness. If I'm not in the CTE department, I may not even know any of this is going on.
Yeah, no, you're right.
And if we don't know here on the campus and our students don't know and your parents don't know, then how are we going to spread it to the community? So I think it's got to start here. And then when we buy in, then we're much more likely to go out to our networking and our organizations that we're part of, Lions Club and church and all this, and get the buy-in from other people.
Great response. I agree. Do you think that, and we're kind of talking a little bit about stewardship here, are there any resources or support? So let's hypothetically say that we do know the vision and we are bought into the vision. How do we get that vision and then into the minds and the hearts of the community? Do you think of anything we could do, maybe events or?
I'm not a very good event planner.
Okay.
But I think you can through the different organizations, and I think that was something that Vivian Hernandez was really working on. She would come in. She said, "Well, I went to Kiwanis at 7 this morning. Oh, I'm going to Lions at noon today. Oh, I'm going to the Rotary tomorrow. I'm going to, I think she would go, and that's one way to do it is to have spokespeople, to have people who go out and share it with other groups." And
I like that idea, spokesperson.
Yeah, basically, and I think she was really good at it. She was very passionate.
Yes.
You need somebody who's very passionate. And of course, her area at that time was primarily this mentorship program. But I think she went out and shared what our kids need, what you as an organization can do to help our kids, help us reach this. But we can't just assume they're going to look it up on the website and go, oh, how can I help that?
Yeah, and
we have to get out there and
it's got to be, I think, too, even a demonstration. So as we know, these are just words.
Right.
So unless you put that with the backing behind it and the product behind it, then they're just words. So.
And I'll say this too, because I've experienced this in education, not just here. I mean, I've been in probably 7 or 8 different districts, and I don't know what you do about it. But too many employees leave here and they go to their neighbors and they're saying, our kids are terrible and we have this and you know what they made us do. It doesn't matter what your vision is. If you have that stream of negativity,
doesn't matter.
Yeah, and I don't know how you overcome that. That's been an issue even when my mother was a teacher.
It's so difficult.
It is.
I think that's where probably the most dynamic of leaders, and I always kind of go back to that old quote, attitude reflects leadership in many ways, not every way. And that's hard because great leaders are not common.
No, they're not.
They're not. And this can be as we say, there could be a lot of, as they say in the Country of Kids' Hearts, you could have a lot of ducks quacking out here.
Yes.
Getting crazy. I do feel like this year, hopefully, I think we're pulling on some manners better together.
Yes.
But this one, we got to work on it. So,
definitely. Definitely.
Well, Ms. Neff, thank you so much for coming in. Always a pleasure speaking to you.
Appreciate your time. Glad I could help out.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Thank you.
Very interesting.
Definitely.